Hey guys, I'm Grace Torie, and you're listening to That Girl, the podcast. Grab a beverage of choice and settle in because the new episode is starting now. Hey guys, what is up? It's your girl Grace Torie, and I'm back with a whole new podcast episode. You guys, I am so excited. It's such a good day. I had coffee, and it's like the good coffee. I did make a mistake, and I gave my dogs a new squeaky toy or two before I started filming this, like 20 minutes before, because I walked in the door from Target, got them their favorite toy, and now you can probably hear Luna crinkling it in the background. So I have been pausing this to yell at him and get him to leave the room, but for some reason in our huge house, he wants to be next to me literally at all times. So it's fine, everything's fine. You know it's gonna be a good episode when I literally have 2 full pages of notes with like bullet points that literally lead into other things that I want to talk about, and today I definitely do. So let's get into it before this coffee gets out of my system and I get a caffeine headache, because we know it's coming or a ticking time bomb, but I really want to talk to you guys and get this information out. Before I get into that, it's time for a life update. I don't know, life has been really good. I signed a job offer today, so more to come on that, but I'm really excited to get into a full-time job. I don't know how it's gonna affect the schedule of the podcast, if it's going to at all. The only thing I could think of is, like, instead of having 2 closer to 30-minute episodes a week, it would be 1 hour-long episode a week. So that's might happen, but honestly not sure. I'm gonna try and keep it the same if possible. But other than that, today's been good. I dropped some clothes off at Plato's Closet, and then I went and got some stuff to make my little nephew's first birthday present. I'm gonna crochet a little thing for him and then get him some books. So I got the stuff to crochet it. I also got some stuff for my bestie. So hi Katie, if you're hearing this, skip like 30 seconds. She doesn't know I'm doing this, but I'm getting her like a congrats on getting engaged, a little basket of things that I think would be helpful as a bride, but I also am trying to get things that she wouldn't think to get. So I got a couple things for that, and I'm really excited. What else did I do? I got the dogs their new toys, which I've been meaning to do that. My dogs are obsessed with the balls that are like the Barks Box balls that have the bat's face, like they're bat shaped, and then they have wings on them. Luna will literally die for those things, and he takes really good care of them, so they last a long time. So I got him those from Target. Target has Christmas stuff out. I'm not prepared financially for that. I am a huge Christmas person. I kind of just hung out in Lexington and went and shopped around. It was a good time. So now that I've done that, I'm really excited to just dive into this topic. If you're watching this, obviously Luna is literally on top of me right now because he's mad that I took his toys, but that was my bad. Should not have gave them to him until after this episode. So yeah, I feel bad for taking them right after giving them to him, but he's gonna be able to play with them for literally the rest of his life, and I tried to get him to play with them downstairs and he would not. So, you know, it's kind of even right now, but I think that's it. Things are good other than everything I just mentioned, you know, living life. Sometimes life be lifing, but sometimes you be life in life, you know? Okay, we're just gonna get into the video. So as you can tell by the title, the bi-weekly theme, I don't know, the theme of this video is how to find motivation when you have none. I've been there on those mornings, or any time of day really, when you just wake up and you feel like you have no motivation to do literally anything. I am definitely been there. I've been there more than enough times to know kind of what I do to get out of it, and I think that this is a very individualized thing. For example, if you're competitive, things are gonna help you get out of that mindset than things that really won't bother you if you're not competitive. So I tried to individualize this and bring different options to different people and their interests as much as possible. But, you know, hopefully if there isn't something specifically, it jogs some ideas for you so that you can individualize it to yourself. Feel free to mix it up and, you know, make it your own. But with that being said, let's get into our first bullet point. So the very first thing that I do when I realize that I have a lot to do, or I need to do a big obstacle I need to overcome, or there's a situation I need to handle and I just have no motivation, is I assess the situation. A big thing for me is asking myself, am I burnt out? Because you can't pour from an empty cup. It's really important to take a rest day when you need one, and giving yourself rest when you need it every so often is so helpful, because when the time comes when you're in a time crunch and you don't have a day where you can just rest, you're gonna be wishing that you did if you're burnt out. So that being said, I personally have found that most people in general are more efficient when they give themselves rest days and they take breaks, rather than when they try to do everything at once and they're burnt out. The results are better. They actually end up, they're not always quicker, but I think that you have to redo less. You get better results in terms of, like, if you're in school and it's a project, your grades are usually better. At work, it's typically more well thought out, well done. Your brain just has the energy that it needs to produce a better product. So it's better to take a break than it is to just march on through. So I feel like it's important to say that and just remind you that taking a break or resting does not mean that you're a failure, and it doesn't mean that you're doing something wrong. It's actually better than pushing yourself to the point that you are pushing your limits and unable to do anything more than what you were doing, like go the extra mile. I don't know. So another thing, if you are sure that you are resting, or even if you're not, something to really think about is, are you giving your body the nutrients it needs? Are you feeding yourself enough that you are eating enough, firstly? Second of all, you're giving yourself the vitamins, energy, nutrients it needs. One thing that I ran into is I was not eating enough B12 or vitamin D, and it was really seriously affecting my energy levels and making it basically impossible to do anything. So I think it's really important to learn about nutrients and what food has what nutrients, and be really intentional about what you're putting in your body. Don't just mindlessly eat. It has nothing to do with dieting or anything like that. It's literally just being effective in the time that you eat, because if you're motivated and you have a lot to get done, it's, for me, if I'm eating and there's no nutrients in it, it's kind of just a waste of time for me, because I would much rather be eating something that is gonna give me the energy that I need to go throughout the day, so that I'm not lethargic and I need to eat again in an hour. So I think that that's definitely something that most people would agree on. If you can take less time to eat when you're busy and you have a lot to get done, then I think we all would be a fan of that. So just being intentional about it, and you don't even have to be like an expert, but knowing enough about food that you know, oh my gosh, this is gonna help, you know, this. Or when you cook dinner, make sure you're including all of the nutrients and having a full plate. So the next bullet point is journaling. So I know people say this and it's really annoying, but find your why. What motivates you? What is your core reason for doing what you do? So it's okay to feel like nothing will ever motivate you. The other day I was feeling really burnt out, and someone asked me what motivates me every day, and I honestly didn't have an answer, and I felt horrible, because like, there's the cliche answer of your family and your friends, but some people, that's not their core motivator. Their core motivator is they grew up in poverty and they don't ever want to feel that again. Their core motivator is they have animals or pets and they want their pets to have a home or a backyard, or, you know, there's more non-conventional motivators that people have. And I think that in 2022, these are becoming more common than ever. Is people are branching out and becoming more unconventional, quote unquote, in their way that they live. Like I said, it's okay to feel like nothing will motivate you, but don't sit in that feeling forever. You can sit in it and say, man, I just don't feel like anything motivates me, but don't get caught up in that. Allow yourself to feel it and then move on, and don't let yourself stay down. Journal about how you feel. Hopefully you will find your why. And something that I have found has helped me is I will trace my steps back to when I stopped feeling motivated, and usually there was a trigger or something that happened that negatively affected my why, and it made me feel like I either didn't need motivation anymore, like, oh, everything's great now, you know, I'm gonna live this way, or it negatively affected it and I felt like, oh, I'm never gonna get this anyway. So usually journal about that. That's what I've found is the most helpful. Basically, you're gonna try and find the root of why you feel the way you do by journaling, and you may find your why by doing that. And once you find your why, it's going to be a lot easier to motivate yourself when you don't feel motivated, because you'll know what improves the way you feel. For example, example is I am motivated by the future that I have for myself. So I picture this very specific future that my higher self is living, and I know that there's YouTubers who currently live that life or something similar, so I'll watch their vlogs on how they clean their house or what errands they run and things like that, and that motivates me to clean my house and go do groceries and all of those things. So, you know, once you find your why, like I said, it's easier to kind of cater your steps that you take to find motivation towards exactly what you know is going to help you. So next bullet point is to check your self-concept. It's hard to improve your life when you don't think that you deserve whatever you are trying to achieve. And a lot of times when your self-concept is low, you don't feel like you deserve to achieve something, or you don't feel like you can do it, or you're capable of doing it. And I know I can't go a single episode without talking about self-concept in one way or another, but it's so important. If you don't believe that you are capable or confident or worthy, you're not gonna be able to do it, because you're gonna get caught up and you're just gonna lose that motivation and that steam and be, like I said, incapable of doing it. Your worries of being incapable are gonna come true because you're gonna self-sabotage. I'm currently fixing this myself. I have talked about this previously, how I personally had a horrible self-concept, and I think that I've definitely improved it a little bit, but like I said, it's a continual process. I think that when you feel this way, and you'll know if your self-concept needs work, if you don't feel like you're capable or confident, or you find yourself physically unattractive or internally unattractive, if you feel badly about yourself, you need to work on your self-concept. And I think that you'll come to a point when you realize that you can work on your self-concept while also working on your goals, because if your self-concept is bad and you're in a place where you can just do a reset, you should probably do that and focus solely on that self-concept. And you'll know, because it's an ongoing thing. You're going to be working on that for your entire life. You're going to go through waves where it's going to be great and it's going to be bad, but you'll know when it's at a point where you can focus on finding your motivation and completing other goals while working on your self-concept. It'll come to you. So if you are in a place where you just don't feel like you're worthy, focus on that, and then you'll just know when it's time to add other things on in addition to it, and everything will be fine. I promise you. You are worthy. I know sometimes I just need to hear someone else say it. Our next bullet point, number 4, is tough love. If you have no reason not to get to work, if you're eating healthy, you're getting all the sleep you need, your self-concept is great, then you need to get to work. Like, if there is no reason aside from you just don't want to, which I get it, I'm a stubborn Taurus, I get it, but if you feel that way, you need to get to work. We don't have any lazy girlies in our community. We have girlies who need to heal themselves, but we don't have girlies who are just lazy to be lazy. We are just, like I said, trying to reach our highest potential, and I'm guessing you clicked on this because you do have some goals you want to meet, so let's do it. One thing that helps me when I feel particularly lazy is I picture my highest self and what would she be doing? What would the best version of yourself be doing right now? Would it be watching TV, eating chips, and ignoring your life? Not that that's a bad thing, in proportion, but if you're doing it constantly and ignoring your goals, sis, we need to talk. But what would your highest self be eating? What would your highest self be doing? Start with how she would handle this goal or tackle this goal, and then begin to incorporate her habits into more of your life, so that the more that you immerse yourself in her, the more you're going to become her, and the more you're going to be motivated to do more things. It's going to come more naturally to you, and you're going to be more motivated overall. Number 5, or the next bullet point, break the situation down. I tend to feel overwhelmed or get anxiety about things, so I get it. But what we're gonna do is, firstly, we are going to look at the milestones for this goal. There are certain milestones to complete. Once you hit, or you're gonna benchmark those milestones, write them out. Then under the milestones, you're gonna write the steps that you're gonna take to get to each milestone. You're gonna break it down even further. They're gonna be very realistic, they're gonna be tangible, they're gonna be little things that you can do to get to where you're going. And then just focus on the first step. And then once that's done, focus on the next step. Don't worry about anything else. Don't think about the future. Think about right now and that step and what you're gonna need to take to get there. That's gonna help you from getting less overwhelmed, and it's gonna just, you know, result in a much better ending. You're just not gonna feel like life is crazy, and when you check those things off, you're gonna feel a sense of accomplishment and you're gonna build your confidence. So it's helping your self-concept as well. Another thing is to make it fun. Write this out, use colors, add doodles, make it your own. If you are an artsy person, draw this huge board where you just write everything out and it's a huge accomplishment to you. If you're not so artsy and you wanna make an Excel sheet, do that. Make it your own and cater it to your personality. Number 6, find what fuels you other than like your why. So for example, you're gonna know what makes you feel good, do more of that. A big example for me is I feel really great when I go and hang out with my friends for a couple hours. So one thing that my bestie and I used to do when we were in school is if we had a ton of homework, we would go to HomeGoods and Target and get a Starbucks. We'd go for probably an hour and a half, and it would give us the energy and motivation to do our schoolwork and get it done a lot faster. And it's little things like that that just really would push me, even if I'm not with any of my friends. For example, today I went to HomeGoods, PetSmart, Target, my favorite vintage shops. I dropped things off at Plato's Closet. I did things that make my heart feel good, and it has motivated me. It's not just the coffee, I promise. It's motivated me to finish my day. I actually did not feel great today, and I honestly just didn't want to film. I didn't want to do anything today but lay in bed, and I knew that that was not good. So, you know, pushing myself to get out of bed and rewarding myself by going out and doing something fun for a couple hours this morning, that's really therapeutic for me, has pushed me through to complete the rest of the day. And I'm actually in a much better mood. I'm way more excited about life than I was earlier. So number 7, this is along those lines of hanging out with your friends, but ask your friends and family, those who are close to you and know you best, for advice on the obstacle. How would they handle it? What would they do? I know some of my family or friends is like, why the heck does Grace have a podcast? That's chuggy or cringe or whatever. But like Josh loves that kind of stuff, like the music production side of things, the mic. So he loves that. He loves it. So I will ask him for advice. Hey, what should I do about this? What should I do about this? What kind of editing should I do? You know your audience, and if someone doesn't support you, definitely don't ask them for advice on it. But if it's someone that is very supportive and it's their thing, talking about it is definitely gonna hype you up. Like, you need a hype man. Everyone needs a hype man in their life. I go to different people for different things. I have like my professional hype man and my podcast hype man, and you know, my family for personal things. Like, know who to go to and have that person, because the more you talk about it, the more in a positive light, and the more you get excited about it, the more motivated you're going to be to do it and get to that end goal. The last thing I feel like this went by really fast, and if this is a short episode, I'm so sorry. I'm glad that this is tangible and you hopefully took notes on it, but I think I talked really fast because of the coffee. The dog kept getting on top of me, and I'm just high on life right now, so I'm not gonna try and drag out the podcast episode if we don't need to. Like, you know, I kind of said what I need to say, but also I'm sorry it wasn't longer if it needs to be. However, number 8, our final step, my favorite step. I've talked about it before. If this is your thing, because like I said, some things may not be your thing, some things may be. If you are a visual person, vision boards, lock screens, surround yourself with this goal. Vision boards of the picture of the final, you know, what you're looking to get. You want that final thing and you want it everywhere. For the lock screens, you can do the pictures, or you can put quotes or affirmations that really resonate with you. don't listen to someone else if they have an affirmation that doesn't resonate with you. Like, for example, an affirmation that really resonates with me is you are worthy. Some people, I am worthy resonates with them more. Some people, it doesn't, neither one does anything for them. And like, I am enough resonates with them. Know what you resonate with and surround yourself with it. Because the more you see it and the more you hear it and the more you believe it, the more it's gonna become a part of your reality. So that's everything that I have in my little book of fun. It's literally so cute. I'm gonna show you guys. So if you are watching on Spotify or YouTube or whatever and you're watching the video, look, it's got like gold, rose gold, sparkly, glittery pages, like the outside of it, and then the front says you are magic and it's leather. It's so cute. Well, I guess it's pleather, but it's so cute. I love it more than anything in the world. That's my podcast notebook where I take all my notes. But okay, getting off topic, the ADHD is strong with this one today. But as I was saying, please, please, please leave a rating or review if you don't mind. If you leave your Instagram, I will shout you out. I really appreciate it more than you know. Wow, I can't talk. Now I'm stuttering because I'm talking so fast. Things are great. We're doing great. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram and TikTok and become a part of the community. It's so much fun to talk to you guys. I literally love you more than life. And it's just my favorite thing ever. DM me if you want to chit chat, you know, comment, engage. I'm always there to talk to you guys, and it means the absolute world when you join the community. You're just my besties and it's so much fun. If you're listening on Spotify, YouTube, Stitcher, Google Play, Apple Podcasts, all of that, don't forget to follow, subscribe, all of that good stuff, and join the community through that way. I upload every Sunday and Wednesday, and I would love to have you as part of the party. I'm gonna go because he is squeaking and I'm not gonna take it from him again. I have tortured him enough, but I love you all so, so much, and I will see you in my next episode. Bye, guys.